Coach,
How we doing?
good you?
Great. All right, we are finally here. I think as a coach, you're always enjoy all the time you have for prep to get ready for games and to get your team ready to go out there and play. But I think our guys are certainly excited and ready to go hit somebody else and go play somebody else. Got a tremendous amount of respect for Coach Heck and the job that he's done there at Idaho. He's really made them a really solid team and obviously a playoff team this past year and done a good job of winning, and they have some good stuff schematically that creates challenges for you. Also, really excited to see our fans on Saturday. They did an unbelievable job selling out the crowd. I think we'll have an awesome support, really, not just this game, but all the games here in Autzen this year. And we always, relish the opportunity to go out there and play in front of our fans. So, that being said, we can open it up.
Lead off over on the right with Chris.
Yeah, Dan, can you get into some just specifics about what Iowa does that I don't want to say makes you wary, but what do you see from them?
Well, Idaho,
Yeah. What did I say?
Iowa.
Iowa.
I was like, I don't think we're playing them this week.
Western guy here.
Yeah, no, I mean they've got some good skill players. They have some guys on their team that are from Oregon that I think it'll mean a lot to them to get the opportunity to play, here at Autzen. But ultimately, a lot of movements and shifts. I think those are always a challenge when you're playing teams like that. They have a great wideout in Dwyer that does a good job. They've done a good job of acquiring players. Certainly, they've lost a couple players in the portal, but they've done a good job of acquiring players that I think can create, matchups at times. And they just play. They play really hard. They're well coached. They have an identity. I think they're a team that can run the ball well, and obviously we're really explosive last year. On offense and do a good job of running the ball on defense. So they play good team football, are sound in special teams. They do a lot of stuff well.
On the left, Eric.
It was just one start last year, but I think Lane performed really well in that against Idaho State based on the numbers I saw. What can you tell us about what you've seen from him and what kind of a challenge he presents?
Yeah, he's a really good passer. Obviously did a great job in the Idaho State game last year. Did well in the spring game. You can tell he understands where to go with the ball and trusts his guys to go get it. But he throws it well, and I think people probably underestimate his athleticism as well. He's a guy that can run and was a good player here in the state of Oregon. So obviously that's showing up there for them.
Back right, Aaron.
One of Idaho's strengths that appears kind of after fall camp was their experience up front. Just do you intend to prepare for that this week?
Yeah, we have to go play, sound football and good football. But yeah, they have an experienced O-line. I think that's something they're going to lean on for sure. I think they can handle, bigger environments because of that. They've played in some hostile environments like Montana before. This will be a little bit different, I think, here at Autzen. But that's a sound unit. It's a strength of their team. So I don't think it takes anything special or different for our guys beyond knowing that they got to play well and do their job.
Front left, James.
Who will be the starting center?
Yeah, we'll see on Saturday. There's a lot of guys that I think can play winning football. So you guys want to know every single starter. For me, it's about how many guys can play, winning football for us. And you could see more than one guy in those situations.
Let's go back to Eric on the left.
Has there been any separation between Austin and Dante in terms of the backups, and just maybe speak broadly what you saw from both of them?
Yeah, I think both those guys had really good fall camps. Done a good job in the spring as well. And again, I think we have multiple quarterbacks that can play winning football for us. So they both understand our system. Both of those guys have gone over and helped us get looks from the look team as well, which that's the key is playing football, right? Going out there and having an opportunity to play, winning football. But both those guys, I think, can do that for us.
All the way in the back. All the way in the back. Matt.
Dan, in your first few years here, your teams really haven't overlooked any opponent. How do you get this year's team to do that? And because we've seen FCS teams give Power 5 teams really hard games.
Yeah, I think trusting the process, right? We know that we want to set the bar for us. What's our bar? What's our standard? What do we want it to look like? And, being, self-aware enough that you can go attack the things that you have to improve. And regardless of who you're playing, when you're playing, we always talk about our biggest opponent is Oregon, right? We have to go play Oregon, do the best to be the best version of Oregon that we can be.
Right next one, Brett.
Coach, you've obviously had quite a few week ones in your career. What do you enjoy most as a head coach with the week one preparation and just getting things, ready for the season to begin?
Yeah, just seeing what kind of team you have, right? And I think a lot of fall camp leads up to that. And like I said, as a coach, I always enjoy having the extra time to prepare and get ready. But as for our players, I'm sure they're excited to get to play somebody else.
Back right, Aaron again.
The transfer portal, like you, I think, mentioned, hit Idaho pretty hard. When you're preparing for a week one opponent that did have a lot of transfer portal out and transfer portals in. Just how do you attack the film of that, and how much do you look into the spring game, but also have to go back and look at multiple players that played on multiple teams last season?
Yeah, we do a deep dive. I mean, we watch a lot of different film. They have a really dynamic returner that played at Weber State last year. That's been really good. I think he has 5 kickoff returns for touchdowns. So he's had a lot of success. But that's what you do. You go look at other opponents and where are other places that those guys have been and what their film looks like and how it adds up and matches up with your team.
Front left, James.
To follow up on the interior line, Dan, how much of this, for context purposes, is coming down to snaps between Charlie and Poncho versus a Charlie at center versus Nishad at guard conversation and dynamic?
I think all things are on the table. I mean, again, how many guys can we have that can play winning football? We'll send out the group that we think has done the best in fall camp to start the game. But I think for us to think long term, we have to be able to prepare and have multiple guys play at multiple positions.
Stay on the left, Eric.
Are you expecting Jaleel and Dave and Gary to be available on Saturday?
I don't think Jaleel or Dave will be available. Gary, I think, could be available.
All the way in the back, left, Matt.
Talked about wanting to find out how many guys can play. What's the kind of a good number that you look at for a game by game basis, and what dictates that?
Yeah, we don't set a number. What's winning football, right? So hopefully, every single guy on our team, but that's not necessarily the case. So we'll play the guys that have earned the opportunity to play. There's some guys that have probably earned the opportunity to play that have a lot of talent in front of them. And if there's a discrepancy, you play the more talented guy or the guy that's ready right now. There's also some guys that are really talented and could help us, but maybe they're not there yet. So it's game one. We'll go out there and play the guys I think that can contribute to us winning on the football field.
Back to James.
You touch on their kickoff returner. Kickoff coverage was much improved last year relative to the year before. Just how important is that with him back there, and will Boyle be the primary kickoff guy for you guys?
Yeah, I think we had a couple guys that can kick for us, whether it's Boyle or Atticus. Even Gage and Grant have all been able to kick. So I think you could see multiple guys there. Kickoff coverage is really important. It's sound. I mean, it's an opportunity to create an explosive play, but for us, that's our first play on defense. So you have to respect who's back there and make sure you do a good job in your lanes. But that's been, the guy that they have back there has been really aggressive in bringing the ball out, and we have to be aware of that.
Right here, front right.
Where have you seen improvement in some of the newcomers from the start of fall camp into game week?
Yeah, just execution. I think that's always a bigger leap for guys coming from high school to college is the amount of stuff that we ask these guys to absorb, and do. And it doesn't matter, how good a football player you are if you're not going the right direction or running the right route or doing the right assignment. So being assignment sound and playing relentlessly, that's what we look for.
Back left, Matt.
We saw you talk about position battles in the Team Out West video. I'm curious, just what were the ones that were really competitive for you guys as a staff this camp?
I mean, honestly, every position, right? Like we have battles across the board. There's some guys that have established themselves as guys that have played winning football and are clear starters for us. But for us, it's about clocking in every single day. So I think we've seen it in multiple groups on multiple sides of the ball.
Front left, James.
With the Big Ten having a universal policy regarding injury reports, Dan, just how do you envision going about that in terms of disseminating information during the course of the week on these nights, on the midweek, of just how you would prefer it so we're not running into any issues along the way before those Saturday reports come out?
You mean from you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, just read it on Saturday. That's when you guys will get it. So if you see it on Saturday, you guys can use it from there.
Back over here on the right, Chris.
Yeah, I know it's been a week, but we haven't talked to you since. What were your thoughts on Bo being named the starter at Denver?
Yeah, excited for Bo. You don't know when that's going to happen or come, and I know that's what Bo realizes. He just went to work. He's gone to work every single day, and now that he's been named that wasn't his goal. It wasn't to just become the starter. It's to play winning football. So I know Bo will be humble and continue to prepare the way he always has. But I think obviously Denver's a great fit for him, and they've done a good job of developing him as he's been there.
Back left, Brett.
Coach, all fall camp, you've talked about the growth and the importance of growth this, the last couple of weeks. Do you feel like heading into week one, you're seeing where your team wants to be at, and how much more can they continue to grow before obviously Saturday comes around?
Yeah, every day. I've been happy with the growth that our team's had. I think they've practiced hard and worked really hard this offseason, but certainly don't want that to stop.
That's all we got for you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.